My name's Margeaux. What's yours? So anyway, today I'm going to talk to you all about Bettie bangs. What are Bettie bangs, you say? Thanks for asking. So Bettie bangs are this thing on the front of my head. So if you're in Australia, then it's fringe. So we call bangs fringes. In America they call them bangs. I don't know what they call them in England. I don't know what they call them in France. I don't know what they call them in your underpants. But yeah, they're called Bettie bangs. They're named after Bettie Page, who had Bettie bangs. So in this video I'm going to show you all my tips and tricks on how I get bangs that make even Bettie better. You heard me right. So keep watching. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to maintain your Bettie bangs. But I mean, right now my bangs are too long, so I've pinned them back. So what we'll do is we'll unpin them. We'll show you how you can go, because one of the things is people don't like having to style their hair all the time. And if you have Bettie bangs, then you feel like you need to style them every day, and that it's quite difficult. But it's really not difficult, because I mean, I've had Bettie bangs since, or some type of fringe, since I was a child. And I used to, before I got them recut into my hair, because I went for a period where I didn't have any bangs. But yeah, before I got them recut, I thought that, you know, you had to get a round brush in, you had to really like blow dry and straighten, and there was a lot of rigmarole to get your bangs to look good, but that's not true. So if we go from this horrid, whatever this is, I'm just gonna go here. So we're just gonna brush the bangs forward. You can see my hair is quite filthy and my bangs are quite long, and you know, they're kind of not really sitting very nicely. But all you really need is you just need a spray bottle of water. So I just want to go in and these spritzers, you don't want to make it too wet, just dampen it. Just kind of, you know, move it through the hair. And then you get your hairdryer. And so I'm just going to rough dry my hair. I'll show you exactly how I dry my hair every single time I have to, you know, reset my bangs. So, alright, so. And that's as dry as my hair is going to get. But you can see that's all you need to do. And your fringe, your bangs will look perfect. So, I mean, they're a bit long at the moment, but we're going to deal with that in a second. And they're a bit dirty at the moment too. So they might not sit exactly perfectly when they're dirty, but here's the next styling tip. So my secret weapon for perfect bangs is dry shampoo. Now this is the Bettie Instant Hair Refresh Dry Shampoo in Fruity and Cheeky Cherry. This is my favorite fragrance, and it's a white shampoo. I also have the Bettie's for deep and dark brown hair. I don't like it as much because like if you touch your hair, like you end up with like a brown under your fingernails, and sometimes you can get brown splatters on your makeup and stuff. And so I mean, it's good, but I find that I don't really need, even though my hair is quite dark, I can use the normal white one just fine. So you just need to spray oil, give it a good shake, spray it underneath. Now this is going to obviously soak up all that oil, but it's also going to give your bangs a little bit more volume. But yeah, so you just work that in, then brush it through. And then what I do to make my fringe sit perfectly is I kind of sculpt it. So you run your brush. This is the only brush you ever need, by the way. So do the little YouTube thing. So yeah, I just use it just to smooth and to kind of sculpt. I mean, if your hair's really not behaving, you can go underneath, do a bit, just to kind of get all the hairs all sitting the right way, and then go through, brush them down. And that's it. For this length of hair, I mean, that looks pretty good. Last thing, of course, is hairspray. I like to use a hair lacquer. Use Schwarzkopf Extra Care. Yeah, I like to use hair lacquer because it has a shine to it, which is really good to counteract all of the dullness that you'll get from the dry shampoo. So just quick spray of that, and just do a little more molding if you want, shaping. That's basically it. That is your bangs styled. So I mean, these are bordering on no longer being Bettie bangs. Like, they're getting a bit long. That's why I had them pinned back, TBH, because they're just a little bit too long. I don't like them like this. It's not cute. So it's time to trim them. That's the other really annoying thing about having Bettie bangs is that, yeah, you have to get them cut all the time, and that's not fun because you have to arrange it and then blah 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 blah. I might have to pay for it. Hairdressers usually do it for free, but I couldn't be bothered. I really couldn't be bothered. So what you do is you cut them yourself. So what you use to cut your bangs, you can use scissors if you want, but it takes forever. But you can use this set. What are these? Hair clippers. But yeah, I use these to cut my fringe, and it's really easy because you've got this straight line here already. So because you've got this nice straight line with all the little blades in it, you just basically just bam, 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 and you're done. It's that easy. I'm going to actually show you right now how easy it is. So you probably want to do this in the bathroom, and you probably want to, you know, do it at the bathroom sink. But what you do not want to do is you do not want to let your hair go down the drain. Don't do that. That is not good for your sink. It's going to block your sink because all the hair will get caught in that little U-bend under your sink. All of it, it's disgusting. You don't want to do that. So what you do is you get a nice piece of paper towel, and a nice piece, it doesn't have to be a nice piece, just a decent sized piece of paper towel that will cover your sink, and put that down, and yeah, cut your hair over that, and that way you can catch all your hair in that paper towel, and then you just pick up the paper towel, wrap it up, and put it in the bin. Done. Tidy. I'm actually going to do mine over a massive bowl. It's kind of the size of a sink anyway. It's a big bowl. So I'm just going to put that down in front of me, and I'm just going to lean on over it. So it's a good idea to have your fringe at this point, which is, you know, nice and straight and sitting the way that you would have it when you do your final style. Because that way when you cut it, you're going to cut it, you know, exactly how you want it to end up looking when you're done. So it's also a good idea kind of to do it when your hair's dirty, because when your hair's dirty, it tends to behave a lot more, like it's easier to style. It sits properly, and let's be honest, our hair is more often in a dirty state than a freshly washed state. So now you want to start modest amount of trimming. So you don't want to go, oh yep, I want really short ones, and then go bam, and then be like, shit, that's too short, because there's nothing you can do about it at that point. So if you just start with a moderate amount of trimming, be careful of your eyebrows. I mean, my hair isn't that long, so it'll be okay, but just start with a moderate amount of trimming, and then you can always take more off. You can't put it back on. So let's start. So what you want to do is you want to get the blade, you want to hold it so that the blade is, you know, perpendicular to your fringe, and you want to just boop, push it in, nice and perpendicular. You can even maybe angle it a little bit if you want to have like more of a, you know, an angled kind of edge to your fringe. It just depends on how you like your fringe to sit. Like some people would maybe prefer it to be that way. You probably don't want to come at it from the top and have that kind of angle. I don't think that angle would be really pretty. I think either straight on or from the bottom up, those types of angles. You start in the center because that's it. But Bettie bangs generally, they are flat in the center and then angle up. So you want to determine how short you want them to be in the front before you start your angling process. So I'm going to do my first cut in the center. They're not that loud, so. And that's it. See, and you've got a nice straight line. Just knock off. Okay, now we can start going to the side. Now this second cut, so the first cut you're going to do on a nice straight, and then your second cut you're going to want to start angling up. Now when you start to get towards your hairline, you want to stop, because that's when you can run into trouble. If you start cutting on top, see, because like you can see my fringe overlaps with the edge of my hair there, so you don't want to cut that. You don't want to cut into your hairline there because it will just look weird, and you don't want to do that. So what I do to avoid that is I use a business card. So you get the business card, or you can use like a, you know, like a loyalty card, your credit card. You just want to tuck it under, like between your fringe and your head where that hairline is, and then you use that to protect your hair underneath. So let's go. So that way you can cut your hair without cutting the hair underneath. So now we've done half. Really important thing to do is to go through and brush. Now this is because with a fringe, like the hair's going to want to try and stick to your forehead, and so especially if you're living in Queensland and it's spring or summer, which is spring is pretty much summer anyway, so it's going to want to stick to your hair, and, you know, like you're going to end up with some stragglers who don't want to come through. So yeah, just give it a bit of a brush so that you can see those little bits that you missed. So I missed a big bit here. So when you slide the business card through, just, you know, move the hair back so it's not tucked, and then go and trim all that. And that's half the hair done already. Okay, so that's the first pass. I definitely need to angle that one up more, but what I'm going to first do, I'm going to make it a little bit short. I like my bangs short, so I'm pretty happy with that now. So now all I really need to do is I need to check that it's like the right angle. So I use my brush for that. So I mean, it looks like it curves pretty much the same amount on both sides. Just give your hair a brush through and check there aren't any sections that you've missed or bits that you're not happy with. Not 100% happy with the shape here, so I'm just going to go in and fix it up. That looks better. And that, my friends, is how you trim your Bettie bangs yourself. It's pretty easy. So if you have clippers, you have a business card, like this one here, then you can cut your own Bettie bangs. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll see you next time.